Hey guys, Dani here. I wanted to talk to you. I don't know if you can hear that. That is my washing machine. It's decided to finish and ring right as I begin. It goes on forever. It is done. What am I doing today? Today I am talking about depth year. Now I'm going to post a couple of links below to some of the... Sorry, I just spit everywhere. It's going to be one of those days. I'm going to put a link below to some of the other YouTubers in our community that are doing the depth year. There's plenty of information about it. I don't want to go into like the long, spiel about what it is. I just want to go into kind of what it's going to look like for me. So basics, it's about going deeper, not wider, using and enjoying what you have versus trying to bring more stuff in. Simple, long and short of it. So I do have some notes. So forgive me if I'm looking in all different directions. I'm going to try to just look at you guys, but I do have notes as to, what I'm doing. So a little bit of backstory. This really started for me 3 years ago when I moved from Dallas back to my hometown in Louisiana. And we went from a 3,200 square foot space back down to a 1,400 square foot space. Whoa. So you accumulate a ton of shit when you have extra rooms to fill. Now, we had a bigger house. We had tons of guests that would come back and forth. We had a different need when we were in Texas versus what we would need when we came back here to Louisiana. So there was a huge difference. We came back home purposefully to downsize and kind of get back to sort of what mattered, back into our families, because we did just have linen. So, well, I would say, okay, so yeah, 3.5 years ago, we had linen. We wanted to make sure that she grew up knowing and around her family before some of our remaining family members would leave us. We wanted to give that to her because we had that. So it was really important for us to come back, and we weren't really sure, and honestly, we're still not 100% sure on, where do we want to be? What do we want to do? Like, are we going to stay here? Are we going to find some different land? Are we going to go bigger? Are we going to go small? Like, we didn't know. So we decided, look, we're going to downsize. We're going to get 1,400 square feet and we're going to get down to it. You know what I mean? So it really started then. What matters and what doesn't? What do we keep and what do we give? What do we sell? So I started looking into, what is it, like Spark Joy? I wish I would have wrote that down, but I didn't. About like tidying and downsizing. The thing is we had more stuff than we had room for. So it was very important for us to find a space for everything. So we went into that and I looked into that and about organization, and then into minimalist, and then realizing like how sometimes these things can conflict, being organized versus being minimal. Like, you don't need a box to put your boxes in kind of idea, which was hard to break, not only myself but my husband. We need a box for that, but why do we need a box for the box that has a box in it? Like, we don't need 3 boxes in a box just to have it organized. Like, it was one of those things, like breaking habits. So when it came to this, this past year hasn't been terrible by any means. It hasn't been an overspending nightmare, by no means. However, this year Jacob started school again. So we're halfway through. just about halfway through June. Yeah, so about halfway through. And we want to make sure that the next year, because we will have another transition, like transitioning out of school into a new career, it's just going to be different. It's going to be, it's going to have a lot of changes. And then obviously some of these things won't apply because of Linen. So she's going to be starting school next year as well, which is another shift. So focus is definitely going to be push onto her and her needs as she goes through, you know, starting schools. So we both agreed that depth year would be a great thing for us to do, to kind of like reset our brains before we get back into a mentality of a 2-income household, and before we get back into deciding where we want to go with that. Am I going to stay doing what I'm doing? Am I going to focus more on our artistic endeavors and build our businesses, or what are we going to do? Anyway, after droning on for 5 minutes, I'm going to get to the point of what my depth year will look like in regards to that. So I definitely started with clothes. So my clothes tend to be super expensive sometimes. And not that I wear designer fashions, just plus size clothing is more expensive. Fact. So I decided, I mean, I was a boutique owner. I had way too much shit in my closet before. I recently gave away all kinds of stuff that I'm like, I'm not going to wear this again. But what I've decided is to scale down once again. What do I need? What do I not need? So I did gather a few basics that I needed. So again, when I said like I was gathering before this year started, I had my poor cardigans, y'all. I have trashed them. I have 3 of them that when the new ones come in, I will have to give away. Oh, there's holes in them. They've been loved very dearly. So I had to do some replacing on that. And then some basic white, black, plain pieces to put back in my closet, because I've been kind of going towards like the more statement pieces, which I have boxed myself in to certain things where like I can only wear this with that. I can only wear, you know, like that's pointless when it comes to utilizing what I have and not having to get more. So you can have one in each category. So I've gathered just a couple of things, not an excessive amount, but for the year, if I purchase anything to do with clothing, I'm putting a $10 cap on it. No more than $10. What can I find? I can find a really nice plain tee for like $8 at Target. You know what I mean? Like if I watch sales and use coupons and pay attention to things like that, like I really shouldn't need, because that's going to go into another thing that I'm going to talk about, and that is using what I have and altering, making things my own. So I'm going to go into that. So anyway, so with clothing, I'm going to put a cap on that. Now that goes with shoes. I'm not a huge shoe buyer. I'll wear me some flip-flops. I'm not even going to lie. So I grabbed me 1 pair of flats, some closed toe because I rarely wear them, so I didn't have any. So I got that, and that's it. So $10 cap for that. Really no shoes unless, I don't know, unless my tennis shoes explode, right? And they're busted and I can't use them anymore. Books, no buying books. I am not going to buy any books. In 2019, I'm going to be either utilizing my library, which I love to do anyway. I love to listen to audiobooks. So that's kind of my jam right now. But I'm going to be either rereading what I have, getting it from the library, borrowing it from friends, but I'm not going to be purchasing any books next year. Tarot and Oracle. What's going on? No new purchases. I can allow myself a wish list, which I can add to. I will allow myself any kind of trades because I plan on going through my collection and looking to trade a few. So I will allow myself trades. I will allow gifts, exchanges, whatever, but I will not purchase a new tarot or oracle in the new year. Yeah. Now, with that, I did grab a Maurice deck, which should be in today, because I did not have it. And I also got Tarot on Earth, thanks to Lisa as Supportive Tarot. It just sparked me. So I figure while I am really getting into the decks that I have, I'm not adding anything to my collection, I wanted to grab that because it's something that I didn't have. And it's something that I'm in the process of learning, and I feel like it would be easier if I had one in hand versus just watching and reading. So I did grab that beforehand. Other than that, I have nothing else on the way. No plans to buy anything else. So that's what that is. Let's see. No new hobbies. No new hobbies. I love a good hobby. I really want to learn how to knit. In some way, shape, or form. I want to learn that. I want to learn how to do pottery and clay work. I'm not going to do it. 2020 will be my year of new things. But 2019, no new hobbies. But I'm excited about that in general because I love to sew. I love to paint. You guys know that. I talk about it all the time. I like to weave. I have all I need for what I have, right? So that really means that I can kind of get into that groove. I don't have to worry about trying to, you know, add something new in there. I'm going to utilize what I have. So no new purchases on crafts and hobbies, no starting something new. And with the ones that I have, no buying anything new until that has been depleted. Because we all know we love some new paints, some new brushes, some new whatevers. And it just kind of piles up because you don't need it. You just kind of want it. And it's on sale. No, none of that. None of that. So I'm going to definitely be utilizing what I have. Any purchases will be if I am completely out. If I'm completely out of white paint, obviously I will buy me another bottle of white paint. But that's kind of where the cutoff is, right? No going and getting all kinds of shit that I don't need. So that's what it's going to be on that front. What else? And no unnecessary buys in general. Jacob and I love to do shit like, oh, let's buy all kinds of new pillows for the living room and get rid of our old ones. Like, we don't need to do that. So no unnecessary purchases. No like, oh, it would be neat to have that. Let's just get it. Not this year. Instead, what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be starting a savings instead. We're really good at saving our change, like our coins and any spare little dollars we find around, we shove in an envelope and we, I say we, I did not participate yesterday, but Jacob and Lennon rolled all of our coins. That's where they are right now. They're going cash those in so we can put them in our savings so that we can take a really good trip soon. So that's kind of where we're going to be at, trying to utilize our cash so that we can get our coins and our extras and kind of throw it in there and build it up again before the end of the year, as well as putting anything that's kind of like lanyap, anything extra into our savings account, what's left over, because we haven't been spending all kinds of, you know, cash and you know, money from all kind of bullshit that we buy. So that kind of goes into more things like makeup and different kind of products. No buying until they are empty. You know, I kind of touched on that with the paint, like that for everything. We have a tendency to be like, oh, well, this is almost empty, I'm gonna go buy a new one. And then we end up throwing away the old one. It's still got weeks of use. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely gonna be more conscious about that. And then I talked about that. What else? Okay, so yeah. Using what I have. So this will go along with the clothes, like I was saying. Sorry. Using what I have and then altering what doesn't work anymore. So like I said, I love to sew. And what that means is I have the ability to alter the clothing that maybe got damaged. I can repair it or I can make it into something new. If you know, my weight goes down, then I know how to alter and to tailor something that would fit better. Because that's also going to be something that's coming into the new year. Sometimes we buy food and it's wasteful. Like, it's just going to be more mindful of what we're buying and what we're doing. I'm also going to be more mindful of what I'm throwing away. And also the things that I'm wanting. If I do bullet journals. I may start sharing that when I do my grimoire. But I do bullet journals. So sometimes I'm like, oh, these stickers are so cute. I want to use that, you know, whatever. Can I create it myself? Can I create myself the stickers that I want, or something similar or something better because they're mine? It's as simple as going on your computer and doing it yourself. So yeah, that's going to be a big thing for me, is what can I create? So, yes, better organization. Let me get into what I'm getting deeper into. Okay, so those are my restrictions and what I'm trying to do. So what is it that I'm going to be deepening? What is it that I'm going deeper on? My craft, my art, organization, and family time. So instead of worrying about filling spaces, right, with things that we don't need, or trying something new, so then we have to start over and then we're left with stuff, like, this is really going to be about organizing not only the things around to keep or give away, but also to organize the mind. What is more important this year? Prioritize and organize is kind of where I want to go. I want to deepen, like I said, my craft. What different things can I bring in with what I have right now? How can I be the most practical witch that I can be? That could be just paying attention to what's around me. Going out and utilizing the woods and nature that I have around me and around my parents' house and wherever I go, to deepen my knowledge and my practice there. You can always Google, right? Googling is free. So when it comes to learning about what's around me, that's going to be very important, because I think that has a lot to do with the craft, and the way that I do my craft personally. How can I create the things that I'm needing? And I don't need much. When it comes to my art, this is going to give me a time to focus on the mediums that I am in, which is a lot of acrylics, inks, watercolors, pen. And it'll just help me focus on those things because I use them in my craft. I use them in my journals. So it's going to expand that because I'm not trying to add in something new. And my goals are going to kind of correspond with that, right? So drawing every day, creating things, something bigger maybe once a month, or you know what I mean? Like I will have goals that I will set throughout the year that will correspond with going deeper. My self-care, it definitely needs some attention because I will power through. Y'all saw what I looked like yesterday. I will power through instead of just taking the time to take care of myself. So those can be simple things like reading or drawing or just being in a quiet space, going have a bath, or locking myself in a room and watching my favorite movie. I don't do those things. So that's going to be another thing that I kind of dive deeper on. So I know that I've been rambling on for a really long time. I hope that that made sense as to what my rewind. I hope that makes sense as to what my depth year will be like. You know, definitely a more mindful year. And along with mindfulness, my word of the year this year is, well, this coming year is evolve. It has been thrown in my face for the past few months, and I think I'm just going to adopt this for 2019. So an evolution of Dani is definitely going to be a good place to start on 2019. Rethinking, reevaluating, being mindful, and enjoying and being grateful for what I have right now and what I can do right now. So I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited. I'm really excited about it. Now we are going to be doing some altering of our house, which was pre-planned. We are switching rooms and utilizing our camper, our RV, as a studio. So we will be altering some spaces there, but we will be making, reusing, thrifting everything that we can, in regards to the things that we will be changing within our home and our new office space. So I just kind of wanted to throw that in there because you might see some stuff about that in the coming year as well. So thank you for watching. I definitely may pick up on some of these topics again before the new year or at the new year to kind of go into or expand. But by any means, if you have any questions, comments, ideas, please definitely leave them in the comments. I'm going to put a link for the Depth Year Facebook group that Jessica Starr, I believe she's the one that started it, has, because I think that it's great that we can kind of get together and share this year together. So I feel like that's really important. Anyway, enough rambling. Thank you for making it through. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like my videos. I try to post at least once a week, but sometimes you get like 3 or 4. Yay! And make sure that if you're wanting to join into the conversation, you check out the links below. I have a link to my Facebook group, which is just getting started. But I want to make this a place where we can talk and kind of come together and share ideas, things like that. You can find me on Instagram. I'm always on there. And many different other things. So be sure to check those out, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.